We intend to make the most of the time we have together. We're also pleased to be joined by those who are watching the live stream of this event from wherever you happen to be. Regardless of where you are, and as you take in this event, we're excited to be with you and on the verge of celebrating with our 91 soon-to-be graduates, their family members, and friends. As we begin today on this spectacular campus of ours, we are mindful of the fact that here at Brooks School, we live and learn on land once of the Pennacook people, and we acknowledge their enduring presence. Before proceeding, I'd like to take a few minutes to outline what we will be doing over the next couple of hours. This lawn ceremony aims to honor and appreciate a wide range of talents and contributions students have shared with the school over the course of this year, and a number of years in some cases, that leave us incredibly proud to work with them. We will hear from faculty members who lead the school's art, athletic, and academic programs, respectively, along with members of this class of 2025 who have excelled in these areas. In between and along the way, we will present a number of prizes that have been earned by Brooks School students for generations. After conferring prizes and taking in all today's speakers have prepared, I will then enjoy the privilege of presenting some school prizes toward the end of the ceremony. I'll finish with a few thoughts about this year's school leaders and the many who will play important roles leading the school in 25-26. With a sense of what is to come now in hand, and before we get started, I want to introduce those who are on stage with me this afternoon. Curry Hoya Huntington is in his third year at Brooks and serves as Dean of Academic Affairs. Babette Wielden is in her sixth year at Brooks and serves as chair of the Arts Department and director of the Robert Lehman Arts Center. Andrea Hines is in her 33rd year at Brooks and serves as director of athletics. She is joined by Beanie Eggertson, Dean of Enrollment and Financial Aid, also in her 33rd year at Brooks. The two of them will be keeping track of all of these prizes over the course of the afternoon. And finally, and one more time, I do want to remind all of us that this event is being live streamed to many who are watching from locations all over the world and recorded for those who cannot watch at this time. With that in mind, it is especially important that those of us here on campus turn off and/or silence all cell phones and comparable devices like opening cans of water. So get that done early. Anything that might get picked up by a microphone and interfere with this afternoon's ceremony. Thank you. Excellent work. In addition, who knew? All right. In addition, please take a moment to identify the nearest way out from the tent in the somewhat less unlikely than usual case of an emergency. This tent, by the way, can handle a lot of rain. But if the weather becomes too uncooperative with lightning nearby, we will pause the ceremony and ask everyone to make their way to the Center for the Arts or the dining hall. Our fingers are crossed. To begin, I'm pleased to turn the podium over to Babette Wielden, Chair of the Arts Department. Mrs. Wielden.
Good afternoon, Brooks, especially the class of 2025. With the ever rapidly evolving landscape of artificial intelligence and instant access to others' thoughts and ideas, I am struck as an arts educator on just how vital arts education is. Now, more than ever, is the time to create. Create with our hands, create with our hearts, and create with our heads. We need to provide and protect the time to be creative, create time to make and create art that is unique to us. This year's graduates have made the most magnificent marks through the arts, from contributions to our productions on stage, on the walls and halls of our Center for the Arts and the Robert Lehman Art Center Gallery, and even on the sidelines of the trustee field. Each of you graduating with distinction and high distinction in the arts made meaningful moments sharing art that is unique to you. For some of you, you use your gifts in the arts to illuminate the sound around us and create the soundtracks to our life. For some of you, you illuminate the stars around us. You create the sparkle and the hues that highlight each personality. For some of you, your art is the ability to embody captivating characters on stage. And for some of you, your art drips onto the boards at the Student Center, in the Athletic Center, and all around us in ways that are appreciated just for the joy that it brings. For the class of 2025, I challenge you to reflect on your time on campus with the skills you expanded here in the arts. Create your version of this beautiful landscape, be it in a photo, a painting, a monologue, or a minuet. You have the skills, soft and hard skills, to create a masterpiece of your memories, your perspective. When you depart campus and move on to your next chapter and start to have questions about what matters, or what are you gonna do with yourself, with your life, I want you to remember to look here. I want you to use your head, your heart, and your hands. What we witnessed this year in the Center for the Arts was pure joy. Joy on our stages, in our performances, and in the visual expression shared with our community. As you step away from this joyful, idyllic campus, I hope you keep that enthusiasm, expand that curiosity, and reflect on the knowledge you gained here. How you weave your artistic practice into subjects like languages, the sciences, and history will be a part of your impact. And keep learning from history, including art history. And you all should take art history. Artists are storytellers, documenting, interpreting, communicating changes and disruptions in the world since as far back as we know. From cave paintings to ancient tribal rhythms, strange fruit to Guernica, Woodstock, Basquiat, Dylan, Kendrick, Beyonce, and Taylor. Storytelling, documenting, through the arts, capturing moments in history with art. Each of you in the class of 2025 has the capacity, the artistic agency, to think and create for you and for the world. Agency as a personality trait is about an individual's capacity to take initiative, make decisions, and control their actions and environment. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. Someone with high agency doesn't just let life happen to them, they shape it, they create it. Think of it as a blend of self-efficacy, determination, and a sense of ownership over one's path, your path in the arts. Class of 2025, you are truly a joyful class, a joy to work with. As you head out and take on more responsibilities and adulthood, I close with you a quote from Brian Eno, musician, producer, and activist. Play is how children learn, and art is how adults play. And while you can choose to play by putting on a virtual reality headset and engage with chatbots, I hope you will go back to your own hands, your heart, and your head more often than not. Use your knowledge and your curiosity and respond with art, be it personal reflections or monumental movements. You have the tools to engage with agency and with what is true and unique to you, and play in the arts. And now for the Arts Awards. The George A. Tyrone Prize, awarded by Mrs. Randolph Muto in memory of her father to a middle school student who shows unusual promise in the arts. This year's recipient is Ava Jin Marinaro. For future recipients, can you come up on this side and then move this way? Thank you. The Henry M. Buell Photography Prize, awarded to an upper school student who is dedicated to the practice of photography and skilled not only in technique, but in creative artistry. This year's recipient is Nenzrashi Kudzai Shoko, Nikki Shoko. The Russell Morris Prize, awarded to an upper school student who has made distinguished contributions to the visual arts at Brooks. This year's recipient is Ella Corinne Whalen. The Parkman Prize in Drama, given in memory of Terry Parkman to a student who has worked long and hard backstage with no thought of any reward. This year's recipient is Nathaniel Luis Diaz. The Knowlton Drama Prize, given in memory of Warren Knowlton of the class of 1967 and awarded to a member, this year members, of the Brooks community who has shown those qualities of loyalty and devotion to drama and versatility and enthusiasm in work before and behind the scenes that were typified by Warren Knowlton. This year goes to 2 recipients because it's been 4 years with this dynamic duo. The first recipient is Abigail Ann Derdarian, and the second, Kayla Grace Gutowski. We really couldn't do one of these amazing productions over the past 4 years without those 2. The Music Prize, awarded in recognition of dedicated long-term study of an instrument or voice that has resulted in the highest level of musical performance in the graduating class. For vocal performance, Madeline Judy Burns. And for instrumental music, Cheng Zhuang. The Robert Lehman Art Prize for the most accomplished senior artist in the annual student exhibition. This year's award goes to Jacob Yutong Zhao. What a year we have had in the arts at Brooks. I want to thank the incredible team of faculty and staff who make these meaningful moments and masterpieces possible. From national award-winning art to jaw-dropping performances on our stages, Brooks students are shining through the arts. This year's art speaker is a shining star, a beam of positivity and perspective, already making creative masterpieces while he humbly assists his bandmates on the keys, co-creates hit singles and magazines, collaborates in the Fire Trail Theater Company, tells beautiful visual stories with his images and sounds. If you are ever in search of this young man, you will likely find him there in the Center for the Arts, doing what he does as only he does, making art unique to Cheng. Cheng Zhuang, come on up.
Sydney Sweeney, or AP Calculus. It was 12:24 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was sitting at one of my most frequented spots, Study Room B, on the upper floor in the Luce Library. I had just gotten a message confirming that I was going to compose music and sound design for a campaign featuring Sydney Sweeney. I had been waiting for this email for the past few days, antsy with anticipation. The client had just asked me to hop on a Zoom call regarding the project briefing and sent me the link. Oh my God. My hand hovered over the join button. I looked at myself in the camera and my eyes shifted to glance at the time. For a lot of you, you know that when it's 12:24 p.m., you have exactly 60 seconds until D block starts. And for me, D block is AP Calculus. Sydney Sweeney, or AP Calculus. In those few seconds, I quickly weighed the pros and cons. In math, we were reviewing for a big test, one I couldn't afford to bomb, and my grade wasn't looking too great, and colleges still cared at that point. But Sydney Sweeney. Let me give you some background. Last summer, I was visiting New York. Out of nowhere, a director DM'd me and asked me if I wanted to go to a fundraiser for her friend's laundromat. She somehow discovered my work on Instagram. On that sweaty, humid summer afternoon, I took the 1 train down to 14th Street and walked toward La La Laundry Laundromat and Plant Shop in East Village. I was so nervous. I needed to pretend to be an adult, and I quickly rehearsed what I would say if the topic of school, my age, or what I was doing in the city would come up. I rounded the corner and stepped inside. House music thumped through the speakers. I introduced myself to a tall, tan French woman wearing oversized Celine sunglasses and Hermes high-heel sandals. She complimented my music and sound design work. As our conversation neared an end, she suddenly asked me if I'd be up for composing music for a Louis Vuitton fragrance campaign. When I heard that, I nodded along as if I did this every day, and I said something along the lines of, "Let me check my schedule and see if I can book this in." I strolled out into the muggy, shady streets of East Village and absolutely stunned. I could not believe it. I dreamed of getting something like this since forever. All those grueling piano lessons and competitions, all those beats I cooked up during quarantine, finally felt like they were paying off. That was the first real big project I landed. What led me to say yes to that opportunity, and every one since, was the space I was given to explore and grow as an artist at Brooks. The arts program at Brooks isn't just about learning techniques or finishing assignments. What makes it so special isn't just the curriculum. It's the space it gives us all to grow, to experiment, and about giving us a studio instead of a classroom. Whether you're in rock band, behind a camera in Mr. Nagel's class, on stage, sketching in silence, or sitting at the wheel, You are given room to find your voice. I'll never forget how over 4 years Miss Wielden transformed an unlikely group of freshmen into a Scholastic Award-winning, MIT-going AP2D art class, or how Dr. Brucey, like so many teachers here, went beyond anything I could have expected, sending back thoughtful, detailed, paragraphs upon paragraphs of feedback on my projects, just because he believed in my work. Or how Miss Hill crafts unforgettable moments on stage, lessons that stay with students long after the curtain closes. That kind of mentorship doesn't exist anywhere. Ever since that day at La La Laundry Laundromat, I've taken every waking moment I have to devote time to my art, composing music and sound design for campaigns, advertisements, and films, which ultimately led me to that day with Sydney Sweeney in Study Room B. Of course, there were trade-offs. There were times I skipped lunch to finish a mix, times I called in sick to stay home to finish an urgent project. One time, I even tiptoed into the chapel basement during chapel to deliver sound design for a tight deadline. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, I was choosing to advance my career, project after project. One day, I sat in the art center, sound designing a project for Nike. I had promised to attend my friend Lydia's lacrosse game, but really needed to finish this. I worked until the last possible second and speed walked across campus to the Anna K. Trustee Field, only to arrive just in time to see the girls already lined up, echoing "good game" in single file. I had nailed the sound of competition for a brand whose slogan is "just do it," and yet I completely missed the real thing. I started to realize that even while working on the coolest projects, I was missing out on what mattered most. Missed games, coffee run car ride laughs, afternoons by the lake with friends, countless late night dining hall conversations. But I always justified this sacrifice by thinking that this was good for my portfolio and my career. As the end of senior year crept closer and closer, doubt started to consume every decision I made. The trade-offs got heavier and heavier. A lot of the choices I made reflected a lack of integrity as a student and community member. How could I call myself a leader? If I chose art, spending hours on end in Miss Wielden's room, jumping from one project to the next, I'd feel like I was wasting what was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, the final few months of high school. But if I chose to slow down and spend time with friends, I'd beat myself up for falling behind on revisions, missed chances, or not pushing hard enough. No matter what I picked, I felt like I was falling behind. I was never fully in one place, always halfway in both worlds. I was never fully present. On that day at 12:24 p.m. in Study Room B, I chose AP Calculus. To be fair, my math grade was already pretty low. I had no idea what a Riemann sum was, and I was worried about college. But what I've realized is this: choosing one thing doesn't erase the other. Being here, surrounded by classmates who care deeply about what they create, in a school that trusts us with real responsibility, with teachers that take the time to guide us because they truly believe in what we're creating, is what has allowed us to dream bigger. And that's what I'll remember most. Not the cool campaigns, but the people. As I head to NYU next year to study music technology, I hope to find a place as supportive and creatively open as Brooks. Looking back, I couldn't have imagined a better place to take risks, to question, to begin becoming the artist I hoped I could be. Brooks gave me the confidence to pursue this path seriously, and that's something truly rare. Thank you for the space to evolve, the grace when I stumbled, and the people who made this place unforgettable. So go on and just do it. Or don't, but at least be present for it. Congratulations, class of 2025. Let's keep creating.
Thank you, Chang. And now I'm pleased to again introduce Andrea Hines, Director of Athletics. Mrs. Hines.
Thank you and good afternoon. An athletic season, an athletic career is truly a journey. It's not about wins or trophies, it's about growth, perseverance, and finishing strong. Much like a marathon, the real reward, lies in the journey itself. The highs and lows, the setbacks and breakthroughs, and the moments of triumph when everything comes together. For some in the class of 2025, this journey began at Brooks 4 years ago. For others, their athletic path started long before arriving here. Some athletes made an immediate impact, leaving their mark in the first season. Others tried something new, developed their skills over time, and discovered what it means to be resilient. They learned that hard work, teamwork, and sportsmanship matter more than the final score. As Rhonda Rousey, an athlete, actress, and professional wrestler once said, "Everyone wants to win, but to truly succeed, whether in sports, at your job, or in life, you have to be willing to do the hard work, overcome the challenges, and make the sacrifices it takes to be the best at what you do." This year, our journey was full of unforgettable moments, highs and lows. Game-winning shots and season-ending injuries, 2 NEPSAC championships, a NEPSAC Player and Coach of the Year honors, an ISL MVP, an all-gender wrestling team, and 6 boats medaling at Niera finals, fans 150 strong filling another school's gym, games played under the lights, in the snow, in the rain, through broken noses and broken hands, come from behind wins, overtime pushes, and unexpected upsets, a first-place finish at an all-female golf invitational, a Brooksian qualifying for the Mass Golf Open, a record-breaking pitcher and a lacrosse player with 359 career points, and perhaps most impressively, 26 seniors from the class of 2025 who will continue their athletic careers at the collegiate level. But more meaningful than any statistic or banner are the moments that don't show up in the box scores. The friendships, the team bonds, the relationships between players and coaches, the fans who showed up, snow, rain, or shine, the laughter, the struggles, the post-game bus rides, the team dinners, the early morning practices, and the joy of simply being part of something bigger than yourself. That's what high school sports are really about, and why I love what we have here at Brooks. Looking back on this year, I'm incredibly proud of all that our teams accomplished. We had our share of victories, trophies, and highlights, but true success can also be found in the culture each team built, the growth of each individual, and how every group met challenges head on. Many of you will remember the milestones and championships, but what will stay with you forever are the shared experiences, the first goal, the pregame rituals, the senior days, and the friendships forged through sport. To our graduating seniors, your talent, dedication, and passion have left a lasting impact on Brooks Athletics. Your resilience and leadership have shaped not just your teams, but our entire community. Thank you. You've set an incredible example for the classes to follow. As we celebrate our senior athletes today, let's applaud their individual achievements, but also recognize the power of teamwork, the strength of character, and the spirit of togetherness that helped get them here. Thank you and congratulations on an unforgettable year. And now for some awards. Brooks is fortunate to have a vibrant and competitive athletic program, one that thrives thanks to the dedication of our student athletes. In particular, we are grateful for the seniors who have supported multiple teams throughout their time here. In an era where athletic specialization is increasingly common, it's worth celebrating that 68% of this graduating class participated in at least 2 sports this year. That commitment to balance, teamwork, and school spirit is something truly special. Each year, we take a moment to recognize our multi-sport athletes, those who have dedicated themselves to competing across multiple seasons. When your name is called, please stand to be recognized for your incredible contribution to Brooks Athletics. For earning 8 varsity letters, Mujib Amin, Addie D'Antonio, Lydia Tangney, and Drake Tarlow. Earning 9 varsity letters, Eric Lickner and Lato Shekels Betts. Earning 11 varsity letters, Sophie Broussard, Lauren Dewberry, Ella Whalen, and Cora Witherall. And now we have the opportunity to recognize a truly outstanding achievement, 12 varsity letters, 3 varsity sports for 4 consecutive years. This accomplishment requires exceptional dedication, athleticism, time management, and heart. I'm proud to present a plaque to 2 extraordinary members of the class of 2025 who have reached this impressive milestone. Please join me in congratulating them as they come forward to be recognized. For field hockey, ice hockey, and lacrosse, Mary Boylston Adams. And for field hockey, ice hockey, and softball, Kylie Marie Matola. The Independent School League Award of Excellence. The ISL Award of Excellence recognizes a female and male athlete at each ISL school for exhibiting the Independent School League ideals of integrity, sportsmanship, fair play, and good citizenship while participating as a multi-sport athlete during their Independent School League career. She exemplifies the ideals of the Independent School League through her unwavering integrity, sportsmanship, and commitment to team over self. A rare 3-sport athlete and 3-season captain, she has earned ISL and NEPSAC recognition in each of her sports while anchoring her teams in the most demanding and selfless positions on the field. 2 seasons as a goalie and 1 as a catcher. What sets her apart is not only her exceptional talent, but her humility, resilience, and care for those around her. After suffering a significant injury during her 4th form year, she remained fully engaged, showing up to every practice and game, supporting teammates, and continuing to lead from the sidelines. Her love for the game is evident in everything she does, whether teaching a skill, offering encouragement, or simply showing up with energy and focus. She lifts the people around her. Confident yet humble, driven yet kind, she is a true role model and ambassador of ISL values, both in competition and in character. He embodies the ideals of the Independent School League: integrity, sportsmanship, fair play, and good citizenship through every aspect of his athletic career at Brooks. A dedicated multi-sport athlete and standout leader, in just 2 years, he has earned the deep respect of his teammates and coaches through his selfless commitment to the team. He constantly puts others before himself, sacrificing personal gain for collective success and choosing day in and day out to do what is right. His leadership is quiet but powerful. He lifts up those around him with encouragement, effort, and example. Whether blocking shots on the ice, pushing teammates in practice, or simply bringing a great attitude to the rink or field, he has made a lasting impact. His election as team captain after just 1 year at Brooks is a testament to the trust and admiration he inspires. He is a model of what it means to be a teammate and a role model in every sense, an athlete whose character is as strong as his competitive spirit. I am proud to present the ISL Award of Excellence to Kylie Marie Matola and Derek Cloutier Yamatani. The Athletic Prize, an annual award given to two sixth formers who, in the opinion of coaches, have distinguished themselves in sportsmanship and athletic ability, and whose achievements have demonstrated an outstanding record in the athletic life at Brooks. The male recipient exemplifies what it means to be a Brooks athlete, intensely competitive, deeply committed, and unfailingly respected by his peers and coaches alike. As a goalkeeper and captain for the boys' soccer team, he has been a steady and inspiring presence, leading with both passion and integrity. His work ethic is unmatched, and his ability to balance high standards with a sense of camaraderie make him the kind of teammate others look up to and want to follow. Even while facing a season-ending injury during lacrosse, he never let adversity diminish his focus or his contributions. Whether on the field, cheering from the sidelines, or simply setting the tone in practice, his energy and determination have lifted those around him. His impact on the athletic life of Brooks is profound, not only through his achievements, but through the sportsmanship, resilience, and leadership he brings to everything he does. She has distinguished herself as one of the most dynamic and dedicated athletes in the sixth form, a fierce competitor with an unwavering drive to succeed. She has consistently showcased exceptional talent across multiple sports. Her dominant play on the field hockey pitch has earned her league, regional, and national recognition, as well as a reputation for being the player opponents most dread facing. Her impact is undeniable. When she's on the field, her energy lifts the entire team. When she's not, her absence is deeply felt. Yet what truly sets her apart is her thoughtful leadership. Over her 4 years at Brooks, she has grown into a leader who inspires not only through performance, but through kindness, support, and an unshakable team-first mentality. She was instrumental in leading 3 teams to success, a testament to both her skill and her character. Her legacy at Brooks is secure, and her future undoubtedly bright. I am honored to present this year's athletic prize to Zachary Michael Amato and Mary Boylston Adams. Say. I'm gonna let Mary carry this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Carrie Ann Cater Prize. The Carrie Ann Cater Prize is awarded annually by the faculty to that female member of the graduating class who, by her warmth and generosity of spirit toward others, by her outstanding contribution to Brooks athletics, by her presence alone, has added that precious quality of kindness for which we remember Carrie Ann Cater. Our next honoree has been a dedicated multi-sport athlete through her time at Brooks, and in every season she has embodied the very spirit of the Carrie Ann Cater Prize. She first learned to play squash here at Brooks, and in her own quietly determined and resilient way, developed into a serious competitor. She became known for her many 5-game thrillers, often coming back from an 0-2 deficit to win 3-2, particularly in high-stakes matches at Nationals and New England's. Her grit is undeniable, but so is her grace. Even when struck in the face by an opponent's racket, she responded with calm composure and the highest level of sportsmanship. She leads with quiet strength. Her warm presence, encouragement, and steady support made her a beloved teammate and leader. She showed up every day, ready to work, always putting the team before herself. She's been recognized more than once as best teammate, a title she's more than earned. What truly sets this athlete apart, though, is the character she brings to every team. She leads with empathy, humility, and kindness. She supports her teammates, upholds fairness, and never lets the intensity of competition overshadow her values. She has helped build team cultures rooted in inclusion, mutual respect, and integrity. It is with great pride that I present the Carrie Ann Cater Prize to Ella Corinne Whalen. the Frank D. Ashburn Athletic Award. This award, given by Mr. and Mrs. Arnold Cogswell, honors an outstanding individual or team performance in which intangible extra qualities have added a special flavor to the school. This athlete exemplifies everything the Frank D. Ashburn Athletic Award represents. A standout in 2 sports and a presence on the stage, she is not only one of the most talented athletes to come through Brooks in recent memory, but also a leader whose presence has elevated every team she's been a part of. As a 2-year captain, she has consistently led by example, competing relentlessly, holding herself to the highest standards, and embracing every challenge with determination and grace. Her stats at Brooks: 294 goals, 65 assists, 359 points, 424 draw controls, and her commitment to play Division I lacrosse at Ohio State next year are impressive. But what really truly sets this student apart are her intangibles, her unwavering positivity, her drive to improve not just herself, but those around her, and her rare ability to speak the truth with both strength and compassion. From the moment she arrived on campus, she made an impact, not just with her skill, but with her character, work ethic, and authentic kindness. She is, quite simply, the kind of athlete in person every coach dreams of having on their team. Her legacy at Brooks will endure far beyond the playing field. It's an honor to present the Frank D. Ashburn Athletic Prize to Lydia Linden Tangney. And now I am delighted to welcome our student speaker back to the stage. You've heard a bit about her already today. In addition to her accomplishments at Brooks, she will be joining the U19 National Field Hockey Team and continuing her craft at the University of Virginia next year. Please welcome Mary Adams.
Good afternoon, Brooks. I am incredibly honored and humbled to stand before you all today and speak about something that has been, without a doubt, the backbone and the heart of my experience at Brooks over the past 4 years: athletics. Brooks Athletics has been a part of my life long before I ever put on my own green jersey. I spent my middle school years watching my older sister Lucy excelling in her own Brooks uniform. I watched her play 3 varsity sports, win 2 championships, and become captain. I decided 3 years later that I wanted to follow in her footsteps. When I pictured myself in that same green uniform, I saw myself achieving all the same things she did. However, now, 4 years, 12 seasons, and only 1 championship later, I can confidently say that what I love about Brooks Athletics has nothing to do with the trophies or awards or being better than my older sister. What I love and will take with me into the next chapter is the people and the lessons I've learned. Now, if you had asked the version of myself who first arrived at Brooks which of the 3 varsity sports would define my time here, I would have answered immediately and with complete confidence, field hockey. However, as the years have unfolded, I've come to realize that all 3 varsity sports have profoundly shaped my journey. All the lessons and challenges posed by each season have merged into one another, making me a better person and an athlete for it. Each fall, I started the field hockey season with high hopes and crushing pressure. It was the sport I excelled at, leading to me to feel like I constantly needed to prove myself. By my junior year, my anxiety before games often felt paralyzing. I'd be barely able to speak, which, if you know me, is pretty unusual. This internal pressure was so intense that I would often walk off after games convinced that I just let everyone down, regardless of the score. I carried that weight alone, allowing it to chip away at my love for the game. That wasn't until I found someone that helped me ease that burden. Before every game, I'd seek out the one person who could distract me from all the nerves: Eloise. She became my calm. She never needed to say much or frankly do much. Her quiet love and support was enough, following me to every corner of the field. In her calm, unwavering belief in me, I slowly began to believe in myself again. No matter how I played, she'd be waiting for me at the end of every game with a hug that read, "I'm so incredibly proud of you." Eloise reminded me why I loved field hockey. And that's a testament to the kind of relationships that Brooks Athletic fosters. I'm sure everyone here in the audience can think of one time when a person was there for them no matter what. And as we all graduate and grow up and life moves from one competition to another, I planned on holding Eloise in the places that allow that kind of love and support close. As the weather got colder, my role on the field hockey team shifted, and with it, my identity. The end of the fall season marked a new chapter for all the athletes here at Brooks. For me, it marks the transition from key contributor to personality hire. To say that ice hockey humbled me would be an understatement. In my decision to pick up a stick once a year and hope for the best, I somehow managed to forget every basic athletic movement I'd ever learned. And look, when you're a drill killer at practice, there are two options. You can sulk about it, or you can lean in. And let me tell you, I leaned in. Full commitment. I began to accept that being a key contributor didn't always mean being on the ice during overtime, that sometimes it looked like knowing exactly what to say after a tough shift. Sometimes it meant offering nothing more than a presence, a smile, a joke, a reminder to shake it off and get the next one. And it was during these moments of sitting on the bench, genuinely rooting for my teammates' success, that I realized how gratifying it is to support someone else's big moments. That's when I understood the power of not just having, but being an Eloise. I watched as Bella shouldered the same pressure that I had felt so recently, and I found so much happiness in cheering her on. And it was in fully embracing this role that I started to view it differently. This is not a consolation prize, but an opportunity and a privilege. And then, like clockwork, winter would end, and I'd hang up that version of myself for what I now think of as the great in-between. Lacrosse posed a different challenge for me. I came in knowing I was fast, coordinated, and capable of executing the coach's request. I believed that that would have been enough. This belief led me to feel frustrated when I didn't make the immediate impact I wanted. I spent the first 2 years in this state of frustration. However, what I failed to understand then is something that I now hold close. Just showing up isn't enough. I wasn't truly earning my role. I was simply expecting it to be given to me. And it took far longer than I'd like to admit to realize that natural ability always has a ceiling, and I'd hit it. What opened my eyes wasn't my own struggle. It was in witnessing the grit and determination of the girls around me. I watched my teammates stay after practice to perfect their shot, play wall ball for hours on end, and work all year around. Sloan was earning the role she got, Tilly was earning the goals she scored, and Lydia was earning the records she broke. And in watching my good friend Sophie Broussard battle back from an ACL tear, I realized the power of commitment. Their work ethic showed me what it's like to have talent and still not be satisfied, to have the privilege to grow up in an environment of people who are constantly pushing me to work harder, to be better, and to never be content with good enough. As I sit here today reflecting on my journey, the roles I've played, the lessons I've learned, and the values that I now carry with me as a result of Brooks Athletics, I understand that I am just one athlete among many competitors. Everyone in here has their own story, but we are all tied together by our shared dedication to our teammates in this school. We have all fallen, we have all gotten back up, and we are all better people for it. What this program gave me goes far beyond competition. It shaped me, it challenged me, and it taught me time and time again that growth rarely comes from a state of comfort. The moments when I felt stretched too thin, out of place, or simply not good enough were the moments that made me. Because Brooks Athletics isn't just about the big moments, the wins, the awards, the championships. It's about choosing over and over again to show up for your team and yourself regardless of what your role looks like. This place and this experience has unknowingly prepared us all to be ready for whatever life throws our way. Not because everything came easily, but because we learned to stay when it didn't. Because Brooks Athletic teaches us all how to thrive in roles that shift, in teams that evolve, and in moments that demand more of us than we all thought we could give. So to anyone listening today who's ever backed away from something, a sport, a challenge, a role, because you didn't feel good enough, remember that you don't need to be exceptional at something for it to be worth doing. You just need people around to make it all feel worth it. Because in sticking around, we all learn to push through, even when it hurts. Because sometimes when we lean into the hard parts, we stumble right into the good. And we live in a world that often tells us to specialize early, to put all of our eggs in one basket, and to only pour into the things we excel at. But what I've come to believe deeply is that there's a real value in spreading yourself thin, not aimlessly, but intentionally. Because when you stretch yourself to fit in all sorts of different places, you grow. You learn to hold more, to do more, and to be more. And you walk away from the experience a fuller and taller version of yourself for it. Over the years, I've been asked more times than I can count, Mary, why do you still play 3 sports when you're already committed, when you already have your thing? And the answer has always been so simple. I stayed because of the people. But now, looking back on this experience, I realize that in staying with the people I loved, I was forced to keep doing the things that did not come easily. Because it's one thing to stick with what you excel at, and something entirely different, something far braver, to stay with the things you're not. I didn't come to Brooks with that bravery. My teammates, coaches, and everyone in between made me that way, pushing me to continue to walk in spaces where success isn't guaranteed and still give everything I have. And that's what I will carry with me long after the final whistle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And now, I'm pleased to turn things over to Curry Hoya Huntington, Dean of Academic Affairs. Mr. Huntington.
Good afternoon. Earlier this school year, to highlight the theme of integrity that permeated our conversations as a community, I spent some time in chapel comparing musical collaboration in English choral music, early hip-hop, and the musical Hamilton, to citing your sources. Watching the academic life of the school unfold this year has been a testament to all the ways Brooks students lift each other up and celebrate each other's work. In her 1994 book, Teaching to Transgress, the late scholar Bell Hooks wrote, "As a classroom community, our capacity to generate excitement is deeply affected by our interest in one another, in hearing one another's voices, in recognizing one another's presence." I love this thought because Hooks is hitting on something really important to places like ours. Students, you are not here simply as vessels to be filled with information. You bring so much to everything you do. You bring your experiences, your identities, your passions, your very own lens, through which you observe and then engage with everything we do here. My colleagues on the faculty are here to celebrate all that you bring, to build classroom communities, and thereby a larger school community that generates excitement because of our interest in one another. Class of 2025, you have demonstrated your commitment to academic achievement. You have shown this in your work in the classroom each semester, your engagement in winter term, your representation of our school through our exchange programs, and your dedication to students on the forefront internship placements. You are a remarkable group of scholars. You have also modeled for us what it means to take the academic experience, grounded in integrity, and live it out with a focus on empathy. Empathy is the underpinning of all of our work in the classroom. This is true in big and small ways. In SF internships, students learn to work on teams that impact clients, patients, researchers, local systems, global systems. Winter term demonstrates the importance of shared and collective immersive learning that we do together. In large ways, culminating experiences like capstone presentations, oratory speeches, notoriously difficult AP exams, final performances, and research papers show the results of a semester or a year of work together in classrooms, laboratories, and studios. In small ways, students sharing strategies in group chats, meeting each other in the library to study together for tests, volunteering their time as peer tutors, and popping into the dorm room next door to help with a tricky homework problem demonstrate the importance of a true academic community. This is a place in which you, students, take care of each other. With the guidance of faculty, you write point-of-view essays that prepare you to choose research topics that increase understanding of cultures around the world. You learn citation practices in every discipline so you can celebrate the academic work of the scholars who have influenced you. You build machines, analyze chemical reactions, dissect pig hearts, learn the bone dance to set you up to tackle scientific questions that help us learn more about how we can be healthier and how we can know our universe more completely. You solve problems and write error journals to learn the mathematics that help predict and explain the answers to some of our largest questions. You learn a second, third, or fourth language to communicate across cultures. You make art that reaches out and connects our souls. Together as a community, you read and discuss all community read books like Born a Crime, The Midnight Library, American War, and The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. You explore and unpack literature that helps you understand the human condition more deeply. Aside from building knowledge, all these endeavors build empathy. Empathy is what makes school matter. To learn information, you must indeed be engaged. You must operate with integrity, and you must demonstrate creativity in your thinking. You must present and prepare confidently, and you must find your passion, whatever subject you work on. And communities thrive, and communities survive, and communities thrive because the people in those communities have empathy for each other. Communities cannot survive when the members and leaders of those communities are solely self-interested. Communities do not survive because their members know information. They thrive when community members use information to build each other up. You, class of 2025, have built a community. Like the English choral composer who wanted to understand the origins of his country's folk music, like a musical theater composer weaving early hip-hop into the creation of a musical theater work to build bridges across disciplines, and like a hip-hop A-lister doing a feature verse to help a young upstart. You have made an impact on this place and the people in it. You will carry the community you built here with you for the rest of your academic career and your lives beyond. You could each receive a prize for all you have done. But to celebrate some specific, exceptional contributions to the academic life of the school, we turn now to the awarding of academic prizes. First is the Publications Prize. Awarded to a student whose diligence, devotion, and skill have contributed significantly to the successful production of a Brooks publication. This year's Publications Prize goes to Emma Lee Nagel. The Wilder Speaking Prize, given by John G. and H. Todd Kobe Jr., is awarded to John William Rumenier. I'll get it. The Edmund Samuel Carr Prize in Latin is awarded to Gage Oliver Blevins. The Edmund Samuel Carr Prize in Beginning Latin is awarded to Yutong Tom Pan. The Spanish prize is awarded to 2 recipients, and I'll read both names together: Lucas Macklin Dibb and Isabella Milagros Soto. The René Champollion French Prize is awarded to Lauren Renee Duberry. The Charles C. Cottingham Class of 2008 Chinese Prize is awarded to Junho Chung. The A.G. Davis Phillip Prize, given by the Science Department to an individual who has demonstrated an interest in and who shows considerable promise in the sciences, is awarded to Shujin Suki Liu. The John J. Cabral Prize, given to the Brooks student who has shown a high degree of interest in physics and for depth of involvement in the subject, is awarded to Jacob Yutong Zhao. The Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute Medal for Excellence in Mathematics and Science is awarded to Emma Lee Nagel. The John B. Melvin Computer Science Prize is awarded to Caden Robert Almaraz. The Nicholas J. Evangelos Science Prize is awarded to Bugyam Veronica Suk. The Mathematics Prize is awarded to Jacob Yutong Zhao. lost my place. I found it. The Howell Van Gerbig Jr. Prize, given for the best essay on the development of political institutions for her paper titled The Chinese Civil Service Examinations and Evidential Scholarship, The Legitimization of an Alien Dynasty, is awarded to Emma Lee Nagel. The Richard K. Irons Prize, given for the best essay on a pressing problem in American history or international relations, for her paper titled Flipping the Skirt, The Topsy-Turvy Doll and the Psychology of Segregated Play, is awarded to Adriana Lynn McClintock. The Michael W. McHale Prize in History, awarded to a sixth form student who has demonstrated a love for the discipline by taking a wide and rigorous program in history, a mastery of analytical thinking and writing, an enthusiasm for the craft of historical research, a delight in the exploration and exchange of ideas, and an empathy for the human condition, goes to William Braden Sanders. The E. Graham Ward English Prize is awarded to a student who has demonstrated a love of literature in all its forms. This student is a talented reader and writer, gifted with the ability to respond to literature both analytically and creatively. Michelle Ohenua Araba Osafo Grant. To confer the next prize, I invite to the stage a Brooks parent and Harvard College alumnus, Art Ruminier.
Good afternoon. I'm grateful to be here to present the Harvard Book Prize, awarded to a select handful of outstanding students across New England in their second to last year of high school. The prize goes to an individual nominated by the faculty for high academic achievement, leadership, character, and active participation in school affairs. It is with great pleasure that I present this award on behalf of the Harvard Club of Merrimack Valley to this year's recipient, Giada Renee Musto.
The Columbia University Club of New England Prize, awarded to a fifth former who has demonstrated an ability to combine academic achievement, personal character, extracurricular contribution to the school, and accomplishment in and dedication to a field of interest meriting personal recognition, goes to Eseose Maureen Olobosele. The Oscar M. Root Prize, given by Morgan H. Harris, Jr., is awarded to a member of the Brooks community who, during the year, has exemplified certain characteristics with which Oscar M. Root for many years enriched life at Brooks. These characteristics include excellence in the sciences, devotion to nature study, and a sense of humor, which provided a rare overview of life. The Root Prize goes to Charles Joseph Rumenier. Charlie's going to stay here for a second. The Jolene and Stephen C. Ayer Prize for Scholarly Achievement is awarded each year to the ranking scholar in the sixth form. This year's prize goes to Charles Joseph Rumenier. Take your knowledge and skills, class of 2025, and use them to make the people around you better. This is what will make the most meaning of your time at Brooks. As you go forward, remember the privilege of being here in this place and learning from and with each other. Your accomplishments here are so impressive, and I cannot wait to see what you will do with all you have learned to make this world a better place for everyone. To give the student address on academics, and reflect on a career of remarkable academic achievement in every regard, please again welcome Charles Joseph Rumenier.
I think we had one more. Yeah, one more time. There we go. Good morning, Brooks. It's a little loud. Today, I have been given the gargantuan task of summing up the most meaningful educational experience of our lives. At first, I hesitated to give this speech because, after all, academics can sound pretty boring. When a lot of people think of academics, they think of dusty textbooks, tests, and homework. But academics encompasses so much more than this. It's everything that you learn about the world and about yourself. Now, I've learned a lot over the last 4 years. I've taken a lot of classes, read a lot of books, and done a lot of homework. So I could stand up here and tell you all about the dusty textbooks I've read, the tests I've taken, and all my academic achievements. But that would be really boring, and I don't think anyone wants to hear that. And besides, the most meaningful educational experience of our lives doesn't come from textbooks that you can find everywhere. It comes from the people and experiences that you can't find anywhere else. A few weeks ago in chapel, I told you all that the road is short, and when you reach the end, you won't be telling the stories of your greatest achievements. You'll be telling the stories of the long, winding road you took to get there and the people you had along for the ride. So as I stand here now, thinking back on all that I've learned, I can't for the life of me remember the grades or the test scores. All I remember is the people that I've had the pleasure of being surrounded by and all the lessons they have taught me. I remember the scuba trip where Gage taught me the importance of taking walks by yourself, even if he made everyone think he got kidnapped. Or where Ijun bumped into just about everyone, proving that you don't always need direction, you just need to enjoy the moment. Or where Cora showed that no matter how much water gets up your nose, you should never give up, even after a trip to the ER. And where being dive buddies with Lucas taught me the importance of slowing down a lot. This trip had an effect on me that I cannot even begin to explain, and I thank everyone that was a part of it. I remember listening to so many of you share your stories in chapel. I remember Mary's Wilder speech that taught me that it's okay to be vulnerable with the people around me, or Kat's speech that made me want to be unapologetically myself. I remember Addie and Maddie G's speeches that showed me that it was okay to ask for help, and Forrester's oratory speech that showed me just how much someone can grow and mature over these 4 years. Emily Pratt's speech taught me that I don't need to chase validation, I just need to be myself. Lauren's tales of the Dennis Sullivan taught me the value of type 2 fun. Isabella showed me the struggles of being raised in a multilingual family, and Drake, a day student from Salem, New Hampshire who loved extreme sports, taught me that you should always keep an open mind and try new things. Reese taught me that you don't have to hide your past, it's part of who you are. Sean reminded me to appreciate my family. And Emily and Bella taught me the importance of finding your people, and that if you're kind, you'll get kindness in return. Each of you taught me something incredible by sharing your stories. I remember watching my classmates dominate in athletics. I remember getting diced the first time I stepped in the box against Jackie, or reading an article about Zach always playing with a chip on his shoulder, or celebrating when Lex hit a game-winning 3 in the knapsack championship, or when Mason qualified for the Mass Open. I remember when Doob set the school erg record, or when Kata was dubbed Tom Brady after about her 100th cross-country win. These people taught me what it means to be truly great at something. I remember so many of Slef's English classes where I learned that you can't always be the funniest person in the room unless your name is Sophie Broussard. I remember Ivy, Harrison, and Serena's constant examples that showed me what great writing really looks like. Amaya's insights that always inspired me to read closer, and Will, who always proved that no matter how well read I thought I was, he would always have a better vocabulary. I remember all the times I heard Majib's infectious laugh, and the jokes that Brooke, Matt, and Tom told that he was laughing at. They taught me that sometimes humor is the best medicine. I remember watching Jack, Griff, Eroy, and Kylie battle injuries. They taught me not only what true resilience looks like, but also how to lead even when you can't be on the field. I remember all the times I discovered one of my classmates' talents, like the first time I heard Maddie perform, the first batch of baseball photos Ainsley sent me, the first time Nina wore one of her custom sweatshirts, or when I found out Chang did the sound design for a Miu Miu commercial with Sydney Sweeney. They taught me what it means to be truly talented. I remember watching Hank on the baseball field since I was 13, or watching Derek command the hockey team over these last 2 years. They both exemplify what it means to be a leader, and I strive to inspire people the way they do. I remember all the times I was surprised by my classmates' unexpected interests, like when I discovered that Eva and I have the same taste in books, or the first time I heard Junho beatbox, or during karaoke when I learned that Sam can sing. I remember watching Mean Girls and learning that Samaya dances, or when I found out that Jacob was going to spend his spring break hiking the Appalachian Trail by himself. I remember when I learned that Tom, the giant Canadian hockey recruit, was also an academic weapon. All of these people taught me never to judge a book by its cover and to always stay curious. I remember the art classes I spent sitting with Frankie, Manya, and Ella. I can't begin to describe to you all the amazing artwork I've seen them create. They showed me what it means to be creative, and I've gotten so much better just trying to be half the artist they are. I remember sitting in the Fire Trail Theater, learning how incredible a student production can be when you give the reins to Abby, or wondering how the program is ever going to survive without Kayla. Or just recently learning what an absolute crime it was to have kept Nathaniel backstage for so many years. I remember turning to Dree for advice about my college decision. She helped me understand that it's not always about chasing a name, it's about finding your people and where you belong. I remember so many people giving their all to something that wasn't even their main focus. I remember watching Carter play his heart out this year for the baseball team, and so many JV hockey games made bearable by Chris and Dio's unrelenting effort. They taught me that you should always give 100%, no matter what you're doing. I can't remember a single Brooks event where Shelley wasn't present, or a single prefect meeting where Ben wasn't leading the charge. They taught me what it means to be dedicated to a community. I remember getting to know people I wouldn't usually see. I remember myself in community class where I got to know Dean and Ty, or the sailing trip when I got to know Anna Sophia, or engineering classes where I learned that Aiden Choi and Kai Yu are one of the funniest duos on campus. They taught me that I should try to connect with as many people as possible, and I wish I had connected with them sooner. I remember learning that no matter how hard I think I'm working, somewhere on campus, Tristan is juggling a soccer ball. Addie is on an erg, and Peck is shooting pucks. They inspire me to work harder. I remember learning that Brooks people aren't just athletes, just artists, just thespians, just friends, or just poets. Sometimes, if you're Lydia, you're all of these. I remember when Aram and DJ taught me to never give up, even when you're down, and that DJ is easily the best financial advisor I've ever met. I remember classes with Daniel, Veronica, and Stanley. You all showed me what true academic excellence looks like, and you made me better just trying to keep up with you. I remember when I met some of our new transfers, when I didn't yet know that I would lose to Megan at the crossword, or go scuba diving with Brady, or to the golf sim with Thayer. When I had yet to see GU in a play, and when I hadn't yet had a conversation about sand pirates with Brooks. They taught me how incredible it can be to meet new people, and I wish you all had gotten here sooner. I remember Peyton's unique style, always a breath of fresh air amidst the sea of Lululemon. He taught me to be myself in a world buckling under the weight of conformity. I remember all the amazing teachers I've had who put in the extra effort to make classes fun. I cannot begin to name them all, but I remember Miss Wheeldon always pushing me to be creative. Mr. Nam always providing wisdom and insight. Mr. Gorton's projects, which always made classes a joy. I remember my advisor, Mrs. Rios Moya, who was always my rock. I remember being 100 feet under the ocean with Sako, Moshe, and Mrs. H. And I remember being constantly hounded by Tote to join the crew team. I never did end up in a shell, but at least he got my brother. I remember our first year way back in 2021 when we still wore masks. When everyone called Raph RO8, when Aiden Crott had never set foot on a wrestling mat, when Shane and I were the only 25s on the baseball team, when I only knew Eric from Tom's stories about his Eagle Brook boys. I remember when I was in Miss Hines' geometry class competing for brownies with Leto and Leah, when I watched Samson's paranoia obsession begin after getting eliminated by Miss Dinolfo, when Uma broke her arm falling down about a half a foot of stairs, and when we had yet to see our first Emerson Davis group chat vlog. I remember who I was back then, and it's because of all of you that I am who I am today. Each one of you taught me something, and each one of you had an impact on my life, whether you know it or not. So as you move forward in life, I want to remind you to work hard in the classroom, but to remember that learning doesn't have to be boring. Try your best to learn about other people. They just might surprise you. Step outside of your comfort zone and try something new. You just might surprise yourself. And remember to be thankful for everything you've learned during the most meaningful educational experience of your life. Because at Brooks, academics is not just textbooks, tests, and research papers. It's winter term classes where you go somewhere you've never been. It's finding passion in a new afternoon activity. It's hearing a life-changing senior speech. It's talking to someone you've never met at seated lunch. It's spending nights by the lake with your friends. It's being inspired by the talented people around you. And it's listening to life lessons from teachers who care about you. It's understanding how to use what you've learned in the classroom to connect with those around you. It was never the classrooms or the campus that made this place what it is. It's the people that bring these spaces to life. It's the people sitting in front of me today and what I've learned from them. That's how I'd sum up the most meaningful educational experience of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. And now for some school prizes. The Malcolm G. Chase III Prize, awarded to a third, fourth, and fifth former who, in the judgment of the head of school, has made the most personal progress during the year. The Malcolm G. Chase III Prize in the third form goes to Avery Grace Melly. The Malcolm G. Chase III Prize in the fourth form goes to Riley Grace Gallup. The Malcolm G. Chase III Prize in the fifth form goes to John Francis Zaccaro. The St. Lawrence University Book Award. In recognition of the value that St. Lawrence places on environmental activism, we would like to honor the achievements of a junior at our school who has demonstrated a significant commitment to some aspect of sustainability, conservation, climate change, or a topic related to environmental awareness and/or advocacy. This year's recipient is Angeline Benjavitvili. We'll hold on to this. Is she here? The Leonard S. Perkins Prize, awarded by the faculty to that member of the fifth form who makes an outstanding contribution to the life of the school. This year's recipient is Tristan Barry Yepto Quagger. The George B. Blake Prize. The George B. Blake Prize awarded in recognition of extended, voluntary, and generous service to others. In ways that are always selfless and understated, this young woman has extended herself in a manner that has made a difference. A colleague described her as innately generous when it comes to supporting others, and someone who always extends a hand no matter the place or person. These are the attributes this prize seeks to honor, and her contributions in this regard have been exemplary. She's been equally impressive as a student, earning induction into our cum laude society. A colleague wrote, "Her focus, thoughtfulness, and strong work ethic have made her a leader in the classroom. She is a friend many count on in all kinds of ways, a citizen who has put others ahead of herself, a student who has excelled across the board, and a soon-to-be graduate we are extremely proud of. I'm honored to present this year's George B. Blake Prize to Megan Avery McSwain." The Harvey P. Hood Prize. The Harvey P. Hood Prize awarded in recognition of special interests, such as working with young children, making things with one's hands, and in memory of a lively, gentle view of life. When I think of this young woman's years at Brooks, I think of her substantial reach and her singular presence. It seems to me that she's been everywhere all the time. She's poured herself into school life in ways that have underlined her deep commitment to all she takes on. She is lively and gentle all at the same time, and her teachers have used words like dynamic, hardworking, and loyal when trying to capture their experiences with her. She knows just one speed, full throttle, and has given everything she can to everything she does. We've been better for it. A colleague described her journey here as filled with growth and leadership. Her work as a school prefect would be evidence and support of that claim. We are very proud of her. It is my honor to present the Harvey P. Hood Prize to Michelle Ohenoa Araba Asafo Grant. The Phillips Brooks Prize. The Phillips Brooks Prize, donated by the Phillips Brooks Society, is awarded by the school minister in memory of the Reverend George Frederick Vaught, presented to a sixth former who, during their time at school, has followed on the path of Phillips Brooks by offering constant love, exemplary service, and good humor to the community, and by setting a high standard for others. This year's recipient fits this citation to a T. He's been totally immersed in school life and has contributed countless experiences that have drawn from his selflessness, sense of fun, and very high standards. When reflecting on his work as a school prefect, a colleague wrote glowingly of his leadership ability and the lasting impact he's had on our school community. He played a lead role in generating enthusiasm for school events of all kinds and has endeared himself to peers and adults alike along the way. He has set a standard for student engagement that others would do well to emulate, and we are so proud of all he has done in and out of the classroom. And just like Phillips Brooks, his portrait also hangs in Wilder Dining Hall. It is my pleasure to present the Phillips Brooks Prize to Benjamin James Pettarelli. The Thomas Perkins Brooks Jr. Prize. The Thomas Perkins Brooks Jr. Prize is given in memory of Ensign Brooks, who was lost in the Battle of Leyte Gulf, and is awarded annually by the faculty to a member of the sixth form who, during their career at Brooks, has met certain requirements of development, leadership, and responsibility. The character of this young woman has been beyond reproach from her first day on campus. She's excelled in the classroom in ways that leave her teachers raving about both her intellect and work ethic. She's been a teammate of the highest order on every team or group she's been a part of during her 4 years here. She's been a leader throughout her time with us and has been particularly superb this year as a school prefect. When reflecting on what this prize seeks to celebrate, who and what she has been at Brooks is a perfect match. Her teachers have described her as a powerhouse and humble in every regard. Her energy is infectious in the very best ways, and one cannot help but enjoy being around her. She's made life at Brooks better for the many she has reached and known. Quite a legacy. It is my honor to present the Thomas Perkins Brooks Jr. Prize to Francesca L. Maitino. the Kilbourne Bowl. The Kilbourne Bowl was given by Mr. and Mrs. John W. Kilbourne for the greatest all-around improvement. In ways that have stretched from the classroom to the dormitory to relationships she has forged with teachers and fellow students during her 4 years with us, this young woman's growth over time has been astounding. She's emerged as a strong student described by all of her teachers as diligent, engaged, and determined. She spent a part of last summer interning in the cardiovascular unit at Lawrence General Hospital as part of our Students on the Forefront program. Her work as a leader in her dormitory has contributed to building a home away from home for all who live in PBA. Over these 4 years, her engagement in all the school has to offer has deepened and broadened and been a joy to watch. With great confidence that our pride in her will only grow over the years ahead, I'm honored to present this year's Kilbourne Bowl to Amaya Danielle Gomez. The Russell Prize, given by the late Richard S. Russell and awarded by the faculty for an outstanding single contribution to the life of the community. Her story is one of extraordinary talent, astounding resilience, and a generosity of spirit that has made our school a better place. In all of these ways, her single contribution has been what she has given to all she has done, selflessly at every turn. If you have seen the large self-portrait she worked on through this year, your jaw likely dropped. If you enjoyed a show in our theater at any point over these years, she was central to that experience. If you taught her, you admired her grit and marveled at her intellect. She won the Wilder Speaking Prize as a fourth form student with empathy as the theme and her courage on full display. Her journey has taught us a lot, and that makes for quite an outstanding single contribution to the life of the school. So pleased to present this year's Russell Prize to Kayla Grace Kutkowski. The Dunnell Prize. The Dunnell Prize given by the faculty in honor of Jacob Dunnell and William W. Dunnell III, who jointly gave 57 years of dedicated service to their students and the school, is awarded to a sixth former who has worked without fanfare to better the school. Even a passing glance at what his teachers have written about him over the years reveals a depth of respect and admiration for him that is rare. He has earned that distinction many times over, and this prize is a perfect match for how he has approached his life here. The mark he leaves at our school is in the way he connected with people deeply and meaningfully. One colleague wrote, "He's the most thoughtful student I've met at Brooks School." Another described him as a true community member and a natural leader. He never sought the spotlight in any overt way, but we all drew from his deep engagement in all he took on. He has been the very best kind of servant leader, always centered on others and full of wisdom that carries weight. I'm honored to present this year's Dunnell Prize to Samson Chubikam Nwobi. The William R. Ferris Jr. Prize. The William R. Ferris Jr. Prize, given by Howell Van Gerbig in honor of William Ferris, class of 1960, is awarded to a sixth form student who stands out among their peers for the depth and range of their intellectual curiosity, energy, and creativity. A nominee for this prize is presented to the faculty by the 6 faculty members who hold endowed chairs. It is not possible to capture all this young man has achieved during his 3 years at Brooks in one citation. He excelled in an exceptionally rigorous academic program this year, 5 advanced placement classes and multivariable calculus. A colleague underlined his unmatched intrinsic motivation when reflecting on the keys to his classroom success. His art is stunning, and his capacity to create astounded teachers and peers alike. His imagination leaves us confident his best days of building and creating are still to come. When he told me in late February that he was about to embark on a 2-week spring break solo hike on a portion of the Appalachian Trail, I first hesitated and then thought, of course you are. With great admiration for his insatiable thirst for learning and exploring, I'm pleased to have the honor of presenting this year's William R. Ferris Jr. Prize to Jacob Yutong Zhao. The Headmaster Emeritus Prize, to be awarded by the faculty for any reason it considers appropriate. In her 3rd form year, this young woman gave a chapel talk that left me amazed at her depth, her maturity, her courage, and her conviction. Since then, she has built on that first foray into sharing her passion and perspective with our community, and we have been better for it. Her authenticity is perhaps her greatest strength. Her admirers are many in number, teachers whose classrooms have been enriched by her intellect and work ethic, coaches whose teams have benefited from her leadership, peers who have valued her friendship, and younger students who have seen her as a role model. She's been a leader in our DEIB work in ways that have kept us thinking about how our community could be better still. With deep appreciation for all she has given to the school through these 4 years, I'm honored to present the Headmaster Emeritus Prize to Adriana Lynn McClintock. The Alan Ashburn Prize. The Alan Ashburn Prize, given by the late James D. Regan and awarded each year by the faculty for any purpose it deems suitable. It is this young woman's character and engagement that impresses me most when thinking about all she has contributed to our school. She's brought a contagious enthusiasm to everything she's been a part of over these years. A colleague put it well in writing, "Everyone comes away feeling better about themselves after a conversation with her." She has been a superb student government president and always sought ways to give voice to her peers. As a school prefect, she's been an integral member of an exceptional team of leaders all year long. In her role as a dormitory prefect, she's been central to fostering community within community. Her attention has always been on what she can do to improve school life for others, true leadership. With deep admiration for her countless contributions to school life, I'm honored to present the Alan Ashburn Prize to Lauren Elizabeth Puglia. A theme and thread that runs through this ceremony and celebration of achievements across the full breadth of the school's program is leadership. The students we have honored this afternoon, and all in the class of 2025 who will receive diplomas tomorrow morning, have played important roles in leading the school, this year to be sure, and over all of their years at Brooks. They've led in roles both defined and undefined, and have as much to do with our having realized the terrific school year we are now bringing to a close as anyone. When I have occasion to talk with alums and those who are not as close to the day-to-day of Brooks School life as all of us are, I often hear myself saying that our students are proud of their school. They invest time and energy in it. They pour themselves into passions they share with others in the community. They learn how to lead over time from peers and adults, and they appreciate that what they give to the school lifts the experience for others. The many students who lead enrich the school's life in ways that are selfless and in ways that make a difference. At the year's beginning, Ms. Freeman launched all of us with a focus on integrity, a theme we have returned to as the year unfolded. In my view, integrity takes a number of forms, but it is ultimately centered on whether we are what we say we are, collectively and individually. To lead with integrity is to practice what one preaches, to do what we say we will do. To the many who took on leadership roles of all sorts this year, it seems to me that this standard was met. Prefects of all sorts working at improving dormitory life, ensuring time in chapel is well spent, welcoming prospective students and families to campus with perspective that helps them know us well, engaging with peers in our Center for the Arts, supporting younger students finding their way as tutors and peer advisors, and doing all they can to contribute to student life in ways that enrich the time we spend together. Captains of teams played vital roles in those foundational and galvanizing experiences. The many who led clubs and affinity groups opened doors to communities within community, spaces where shared interests and experiences could be explored together. They ushered in a wildly popular cell phone policy, really, and have clawed back some ground with our dress code. And importantly, many led with no title at all, by being and modeling and reminding others what good citizenship looks like. For the first time in my life, I began the school year in January, and among the many I was so pleased to see and connect with were this year's school prefects. They clearly got off to a running start with Ms. Freeman in the fall, and were in full stride by the time I emerged on the scene. There was a lot about this group to like and admire, but I was taken most of all by how positive and cheery they were all the time in January of all months. It was clear to me then, and is clear to me now, that they heard Ms. Freeman's message about integrity loudly and clearly. They practiced what they preached, they were who they said they would be, and they had and contributed to a lot of fun along the way. As they go, certain to be leaders in communities of all sorts they will be a part of in their lives, I ask all of you to join me in thanking this year's school prefects as I call their names and invite them to the stage. They are Zachary Michael Amato, Sophie Adele Broussard, Emerson Lee Davis, Samuel Ellis Lubick, Francesca L. Maitino, Michelle Ohenawa Araba Asafo Grant. Benjamin James Pettarelli. Lauren Elizabeth Puglia. Charles Joseph Rumanier. Cheng Zhuang. And this year's senior prefect, Lydia Leiden Tangney. While graduation weekend is always bittersweet in some ways, it also marks the point in our year when we begin in earnest to really look at what the coming year might be. A vital part of preparing for a new school year is determining what members of the class of 2026, in this case, will take on the many roles so ably held by those graduating tomorrow morning. The process of inviting members of this class to express interest in various positions that align with how they would like to contribute as leaders to the 2025-2026 school year has been underway for some time. The good news, as usual, is that dozens and dozens of students in the class of 2026 want to lead and do their part to have a school year we will remember well at this time next year. It will be important for this group to appreciate what this year's sixth form took to heart, namely that leadership is a privilege, and all any position or title grants you is an opportunity to make a difference. There are no guarantees, and engaging in the school's life in new ways will be critical to their success. Going beyond familiar patterns, reaching new students in ways that matter to them, holding peers accountable in ways that are challenging, emerging as upstanders more than bystanders. Those leading in the coming year have earned the privilege to do so, and we intend to do all we can to help them have the kind of year they are hoping for at this point. The 2025-2026 school prefects will be just one group of many in their class who will be in position to make a difference. They have earned this opportunity by virtue of how they have gone about their lives to this point, by being people of integrity at our school. Like all before them, they will have a clean slate upon which to write their story. I'm looking forward to thinking and working with them. With all of that said, I'd now like to announce the 2025-2026 school prefects and invite them to join us on stage when I call their names. They are Rohan Nilesh Amin. Herons Cantave. Hugh Kindersley Foster. Sloan Dana Hayden. Jasper Scott Willard Johnson. Abigail Tayen Nam. Eseose Maureen Olobasela. Grania Ann Rolfe. Callista Lumetta Tangney. Elsa Alden Wood. And next year's senior prefect, Tristan Barry Yepto Quagger. Thank you. So here's what's next. Once I wrap up, all of us on campus will make our way directly to Ashburn Chapel for our Boo-Hoo service, beginning as soon as we get there. The service is for the student body and will involve a series of farewell songs and traditions ahead of the class of 2025, processing out of the chapel behind a bagpiper who will lead the way. This part of the afternoon will not be live streamed, but we will have a photographer capturing the event and making those photos available to all who are interested. Parents, guardians, family members, and friends are also welcome to take pictures. Once the class of 2025 has lined the chapel walk, the faculty, followed by the 3rd, 4th, and 5th form, will process through the line to say their goodbyes. From there, the class of 2025 will make their way through the line, saying goodbye to one another. This is often a lengthy and emotional experience, and lots of terrific photo opportunities will emerge if you are patient. This brings the lawn ceremony and live stream to a close. Many thanks to those who've joined us from home. For the rest of us, let's head to the chapel.